So the question many of us have asked is, how difficult is it actually to change a clutch? How hard is it to learn this, some would say, fairly important skill? And well, I mean, I guess all we have to do is figure out how to drop the transmission out the bottom of this thing. So how difficult can that be? So this Pathfinder has almost 300,000 miles on it. Probably not the original clutch, but what do I know? It's been raining outside, so the dog insists on being in the most obnoxious place possible. Lucky, shoot, let me take a look at this. Shoo, ow. All right, let's see. There's RTV everywhere. Someone's been in here for something or other. And we're at least leaking some of the fluids, which means there's fluid in there, which is a good sign. All right, let's see. And just shredded clutch material everywhere. That should be fun. That looks like a decently heavy transmission. I mean, not really that heavy, but still heavy enough. It's probably going to be a little bit miserable doing this. And I, if you cannot tell, have never done this before. So this is an adventure that we will be going on together. All right, let's see. There's this cross member here, which looks like it just bolts on, so that shouldn't be a big deal. Looks like this exhaust is gonna have to come out, but luckily it just unbolts there, and there. Oh, they're different sizes. Are you kidding me? Alright, now that exhaust is gone, I guess we ought to remove this here drive shaft. Man, I like how overall things come loose on this. One of the many benefits of living in the South. Oh, I'm gonna pay for saying that later. Something obvious is gonna be rusted solid. Alright, I gotta make sure my head is not under this when we pop it loose. Perfect. I'm gonna put a catch pan underneath this before I pull it out, because otherwise we run the risk of having fluid just dump everywhere. It's coming out further. There's all that gunk that's packed in there. Oh, got it. Yep, there's the fluid. All right, cool. That obviously needs to be changed anyway. I guess this is like a dust cover kind of thing. So from this point, it's really just a matter of disconnecting everything that has to be disconnected and going from there. Now, there's a lot of obvious stuff like this cross member here, like both drive shafts, since of course the transfer case is coming out with this as well. And there's lots of other things. For some reason, there's a whole bunch of wires and sensors that run to this transmission. I have absolutely no idea why. But whatever the case, there's those there as well. And then there's, I think on this, there were a good 8 or 10 bolts running between the transmission, bell housing, and the engine block itself. And I got almost all of them, according to Mechanic Steve's report card. I only missed like one of those and part of the four-wheel drive linkage. That's the other thing. There's the shifting mechanism on top of the transmission. We had to go in from the inside of the vehicle, from the cab on this car, and get all that stuff loose. And then same thing for the 4x4 shift linkage on the transfer case. Obviously, if your vehicle is two-wheel drive, you won't really have to worry about that, but we're not that lucky today. And I messed with this thing for quite a bit of time. I wrestled out all these bolts. It was so time consuming because you can only turn the wrench like a 16th of a turn at a time, and it's difficult because they don't want to come loose, but whatever, I persevered through it. And I tried pulling this transmission out. I could not get it loose, so I did what I always do, and just decided to bother Mechanic Steve and see what he could figure out.
Yeah, a lot of these import cars, man, that it like most American-made vehicles, all the bolts go in through the back of the transmission into the block.
Okay.
And import cars, a lot of times will have both sides for whatever reason. It's like they.
Yeah, I never even thought of that.
It's like the engineers just ran out of places to put bolts. I need one more bolt.
It's a good boy.
Got the transmission loose, ready to come out of this. Fortunately, Chucky already had all this stuff disconnected. There was like one bolt left and jacking with the four-wheel drive shifter on it. Now every single freaking bolt on this thing is like, I don't know what the deal is. It's super freaking tight. But we've got it pretty much out. I need to loosen the ratchet strap that's on the transfer case, and then I think we're gonna have to jack it up a little higher to the front of the vehicle up.
Lucky, go lay down.
To get the transmission out or back far enough to where we can actually drop her out. So, loosen that up, see what happens.
What was that?
Something like book. Alright.
Lucky, stop bothering us. Go lay down. Go lay down.
I don't even know what these wires do.
Yeah.
None of this stuff, Chucky.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Don't need no electronics. This is going to be a ranch vehicle, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. So I'm like 80% sure it's gonna rain based on how clingy the dog is. Lucky? Are you being a weather dog? Are you saying it's like an 80% chance it's gonna rain because you just will not leave us alone? Is it gonna rain? So we're trying to figure out if this is leaking from the front of the transmission or the back of the engine, or maybe both. And I'm gonna try to power wash all this crap off of this thing. Meanwhile, Steve is taking a look at the backside of the engine and trying to figure out if it needs a rear main seal as well, which sounds bad, but you know, since all this is already taken apart, it would actually be quite simple to swapify. So let's see what happens.